Hello, everybody. Lucky Red, Nettle Blue, we're here to do the currently unnamed podcast. Um, I've so far been listing the previous episode as just Garbage Gang Podcast question mark because I just don't know what to call it yet.
Yeah, I've been preoccupied with other stuff and I have not brainstormed it. That's on me.
Pod Garbage Gang Podcast question mark. Um, so if you couldn't tell, we're here to talk about Phase Four of Marvel because we didn't really realize it was over already.
It,
Phase,
it, it ended. It just ended. It
uh,
just stopped.
it really did. It was over. Phase Five
Like we're
officially
done.
started with Ant Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So like,
Phase 4 feels like the Marvel filler arc.
well, yeah, this was definitely just like to tie in.
Like, because like we start with all the multiverse stuff, and then like we get a little bit of multiverse sprinkled in, but we get all these other shows that have nothing to do with the overarching plot. And then we get to Phase 5, and we start with Quantumania, which like directly leads into the Kang the Conqueror stuff.
Yeah, yeah, we hint at the Kang stuff with Loki in
And
this.
then we off.
Yeah, and then we do nothing with that until now.
Um, I
Uh,
mean, yeah, I mean, like not like everyone's not beating on this dead horse right now.
yeah,
Like, man, this horse, I'm probably dead on arrival, honestly. But man, so what are your thoughts on Phase 4?
uh, pr- pretty dull. It was really just like we had it like it's weird because it was only like 2 years long. It was 2021, which started with WandaVision, and then ended in 2022 with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Technically, there was the Guardians Holiday Special as well, but which dropped afterwards. So technically, I guess that's what ended it. Um, but they consider it Wakanda Forever. And among all of these, like, there was a lot of content. There's like was it like 8 movies? How many projects was this? We had one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 movies. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. We had 9 shows and then 2 specials.
16, and two specials, so 18 projects throughout all of
Two
Phase
years.
4.
Yeah. In a span of just 2 years, we had 18
Fuck, that's
whole
so
projects,
much.
and it still feels like nothing happened with so much content.
No, that's not true. It feels like nothing happened after it started.
Yeah.
WandaVision and Loki feel like things are happening.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Multiverse of
then
Madness felt like it could have led to stuff, but it was more felt like a standalone movie.
it felt like a standalone. It did feel like it was setting up some other stuff, but yeah, yeah. Um,
So far, really, among all these movies, the only one that really felt like it was like the show set up for stuff, but like it didn't feel like it set any besides Loki. Didn't really feel like it set up for the big MCU stuff, but just like smaller MCU stuff, with the exception of
yeah.
probably Wakanda Forever, which kind of brought in a handful of new characters.
So let's kind of like look at the past of the MCU real quick. So
Sure.
Phase 1 ends, I believe, with Avengers, right?
Yeah. Phase one starts with Iron Man, ends with Avengers.
And then Phase 2 starts with Iron Man 3, I want to say.
Did it start with Iron Man 3? It might have. Oh, Phase 2 Marvel. Let's see. Did it? I think it did. Yeah. Iron Man 3 was what it started with, and it ended with Ant Man.
And then Phase 4 picks up with Captain America Civil or Phase 3 picks up with Captain America Civil War
Yeah.
and ends on Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, okay, like I know a lot of these are like soft endings. Like, oh, Ant-Man isn't it is the ending, but the real ending is Avengers: Age of Ultron,
Yeah.
and you know, Spider-Man: Far From Home is not really the ending. It's the cool down from Avengers Endgame.
so yeah, yeah, Far From Home is the epilogue to Endgame because it has
But
everything
man,
to do with what just happened.
Phase 4 starts with uh it's Black Widow.
Uh, yes. Did Black Widow actually? No. WandaVision released first.
Okay, I knew it was.
Yeah.
No, that's surprising. I knew it was WandaVision was the first TV show.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know if it was chronological.
So Black Widow was chronologically Black Widow takes place before all of these, but
Yeah, right. I mean, like our real life.
Yeah, yeah. Black Widow was supposed to be the first one released, but due to the pandemic, things got moved around a lot.
Right. So we started
off
WandaVision.
Yeah.
Which WandaVision itself is a fairly strong place to start. And then we end on what's the final one? Black Panther 2?
Yeah, Wakanda Forever, which is pretty good. I liked it.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fine. There's a lot of good stuff in it.
It feels kind of messy, and it feels like that messy, in my mind, comes from the fact that the script was originally written for Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And then he unfortunately passed away, and they rewrote the script for Shuri, but it doesn't make as much sense with Shuri.
But at least I do think they were able to do well with, what they. I mean, obviously they had no choice.
I just think. By the way, obviously this podcast or video or whatever you want to call it, it's going to have spoilers. All this is going to be spoilers. We're going to spoil everything we watched.
Yeah.
Like.
Which the only things I didn't watch was I Am Groot, which was a bunch of shorts, and Werewolf by Night, which was a Halloween special.
I missed a good chunk of stuff. I did not watch Black Widow or the Eternals because I didn't give a shit. I didn't finish Hawkeye or She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I don't even think I finished Marvel What If.
That sucks. Marvel What If was probably my actual favorite, and it's like a spin-off. That has no merit.
Here's the thing. I watched all but like the last episode, I think.
Okay.
I think I should come back and watch it. I'm not sure now. I know at one point I stopped and then found out like it ended 1 or 2 episodes later.
Okay. That actually...
Phase 4 feels to me like a whole lot of nothing, and I mean a lot of nothing. I was watching a video from Cosmonaut Variety Hour.
Okay.
And he pointed this out, and I can't stop thinking about it. Almost every project in Phase 4 is someone going through some personal character arc about being a superhero, and then getting their costume at the end of the show or movie. Like, this is Captain America and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier. Okay, Loki doesn't do that.
Loki doesn't do that. Miss Marvel does it. She-Hulk does it. Black Panther does it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot.
I mean, Black Widow doesn't do that, but she does get, like, a costume, so I guess technically.
I'm not going to count that. But, like, ones where it's like, oh, it's a new hero or an established hero who's kind of going through an identity crisis.
Yeah, Shang-Chi.
Where, like,
Eternals doesn't do that. At least the costume part. It is the identity crisis stuff is all there. Just no way.
No, okay.
Home technically also does that, actually.
I'm going to verbally manhandle Phase 4, but let's talk about what we liked about Phase 4. To kind of, like, establish that,
okay.
We're not just shit. At least, I'm going to try not to head. You actually like the stuff more than me.
Yeah, from what I liked, the first half of WandaVision was really good. I didn't like the second half. Um,
The ending wasn't my favorite, but I stuck with it, and I thought
I
it
did too.
ended fine.
Yeah, the final
Like,
episode I didn't think was very good.
no, it does feel kind of out of left field that the cop guy decides to try to shoot these children.
It was pretty
Like,
fun.
oh,
It
we
was
need to
pretty.
establish the bad guy.
Yeah. Falcon Winter Soldier. Uh,
Yeah, it's
we'll
kind
sk- we'll,
of
sk- we'll
a fuck.
s- You know what? Uh, the fact that it's the only instance of a comic book costume being one for one was kind of cool. Sam's
No, that's
Captain
fair.
America suit was just the comic book one. There was no differences, and I was very happy to see that.
That is pretty.
Uh,
I will say on, on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think like every other episode works really well. Like the first episode and like the third episode, if I remember right,
hmm.
are like legitimately good, and then we just get to the
Honestly,
rest.
the whole arc of the Shield and self doubt, I think is good. The main
Yeah,
plot is not very good.
but what do we do about this? Do better.
Do better. Like all the U.S. agent stuff. Basically, the whole legacy of the Shield, I think, was done very well, and then everything else was not. Loki, I think
I,
overall was actually pretty good.
Loki is probably my favorite thing from Phase Four, or the thing I have the least complaints about.
Yeah,
Probably not actually my favorite,
it was
but I think it's probably
it was interesting. It was entertaining. Had a lot of cool nods to the comics, and it actually was so good. It's was confirmed for a season 2, so that one will continue. Um,
oh
we'll skip talking about Black Widow. We're talking about good things.
man,
Uh,
did we do? I don't even think I have anything to say about Black Widow.
you know what? I liked all of What If. What If was great. Uh, the
That's fair.
the whole
What if?
thing of just yeah, What If being a spinoff. I mean, damn, that's already greenlit for a third season. I knew it got confirmed for a second season. That's cool. Um, but getting like the whole so there was an old 80s comic of the same name called Marvel What If, where it would be just wacky concepts for one shot stories. Um, and then it got rebooted, and then the reboot is who they turned into this show, but focused on the MCU, which um,
Fair enough, I suppose.
uh, also, of course, the second episode of What If was also, which is actually probably my favorite episode, was the last role for Chadwick Boseman,
Yeah,
because they used the
yeah,
recordings they completed for the show was his last
yeah.
project.
Oh, he's such a good actor.
He really is.
I actually not too long ago watched was Thurgood Marshall movie.
hmm,
That's also a pretty interesting movie.
hell yeah, yeah. No, he was a
I,
phenomenal actor.
I like the oddball historical drama movie.
That's fair. I watched one of those like a couple years ago, um, which actually had Michael B. Jordan in it. Shang-Chi was pretty good. There was a lot I liked about it, and there was some stuff I was like, it was fine. I never didn't like it, I guess, is the is the best part I can say about it. Uh,
I I'm 50-50. I started zoning out hard in the second half. Like I like the first half,
the first half's great.
and then like whole second half, I got less and less interested, and by the end, I honestly didn't care much what was going on.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna probably either get a sequel or he'll be in Avengers movies. So I'm down for more Shang
I mean,
Chi.
I liked Shang-Chi himself.
Yeah,
It's just the movie kind of went from like it feels very urban kung fu at the beginning,
yeah,
and
which
then we
why
get
it's
into
great.
wild, wacky, mystical shit, and like somewhere in that transition, I just was like, I
then we become an MCU movie. Uh,
yeah, and I liked it when it was like, hey, dude, we're gonna go like, you know, old school Jackie Chan movie kind of thing.
And then
Well,
we're gonna skip Eternals. Hawkeye was good. It was funny. It was charming. Most people's main complaint was, of course, Kate Bishop didn't act exactly like Kate Bishop from the comics, but as a friend of mine pointed out, which I actually agree with, is watching the show, you can see how this character becomes Kate Bishop's Hawkeye. Like, this is
fair.
her, like,
I never.
before she actually is, like, a hero, like, way before that. And you can kind of see how she will become that character.
So when this got announced, I'd never heard of Kate Bishop before.
Yeah.
And so I have no bias. Man, I did not give a shit about Hawkeye. I just stopped caring partway through. Like, it's a lot of these. I just stopped caring. Part of it, I feel like, is just 5,000 things being thrown at me, and this was like, what, the fourth MCU TV show?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't count What If.
Because what?
Yeah, if you count What If,
so
5, yeah.
And again, I watched all 4 of those first ones.
Yeah.
Man, I was tired.
The Marvel burnout is very real. The comic book burnout.
Well, here's the thing. If these were all 10 out of 10 shows, or like just 8 out of 10 shows, or if half of them were just like more than whatever, I would be more for it.
Yeah, they're pretty consistently 5 to 6 out of 10s. They're either meh or they're okay.
With a handful of exceptions, namely, honestly, the big exceptions for me being the first couple, or 2 of the first ones, WandaVision and Loki.
Yeah.
Loki, I would say, is easily the strongest thing in Phase 4.
Yeah, probably.
What?
So next would be No Way Home, which, honestly, I love that movie. I really, really like No Way Home.
See, I'm 50-50. I really liked watching No Way Home, and I, absolutely love seeing Andrew Garfield come back. Love seeing Tobey Maguire come back. I like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, despite them not really being good.
Oh no, they're awful.
And I love the Tobey Maguire movies, flaws and all.
Yeah, they're fun, which is all they really needed to be.
I mean, that's like, at the end of the day, it's a movie fun. Like, that's the goal. Make it.
Sadly, the Amazing Spider-Man movies aren't very fun, but they're.
Again, I don't know why I like them. They're not good. Yeah. I'm not going to defend them, but I like them.
Yeah, but No Way Home.
I did last time.
Tons of fun. I love all the character stuff. Man, fucking performance like of the year for Willem Dafoe though. Like, god damn, did he kill it?
Willem Dafoe's a treat. Thank God someone did not betray me. Fucking within like a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
We went from the return of Palpatine to the return of Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin.
Yeah.
And man, I was so excited for both of them. Like, oh, Palpatine's back. How? I don't give a fuck. It's Palpatine. He's always fun. He's not fun.
Yeah, it's not very fun.
He's very boring. But Willem Dafoe comes back and it's like, oh god, please don't be Palpatine. Please don't be another Palpatine. Nah, he's fantastic. He's probably better in this movie than he is in the original Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, he really is. Like, infamously, 2 infamous things from him playing the role in No Way Home was the fact that, for one thing, was the scene where he gets socked in the face several times by Spider-Man full force, and he just starts laughing at him. In an infamous behind-the-scenes video of that, Tom Holland got actually scared. Like, he was actually terrified.
I mean, I kind of would be too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's great. The other thing that I love is the fact that he refused to do the movie unless they let him do his own stunts.
Thank God.
He wanted to do his own... God, how old is he? Like, it was so crazy that he wanted to do that.
2 years after the original.
Yeah.
So he's 70s now.
He is...
Yeah.
old are you? He's 67 now, so like it was a couple years ago.
Wonder if he's gonna be like the next Christopher Lee, where he's just fucking old as shit and still showing up and stuff and doing a little bit of his own stunts. Like,
Yeah, he couldn't
Christopher
do
Lee talked
everything.
about him. He couldn't do this really any of the sword fighting for Attack of the Clones,
Mhm.
but
Oh yeah, for his for Count Dooku, yeah.
yeah, but he was, in fairness, in his 80s by then
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
I think he passed. If I remember, he passed in 2015 at the ripe old age of 95 or 93.
Goddamn. Legend.
Yeah, he was not a spring chicken.
Freaking.
Uh,
He was Hammer's Dracula.
yeah,
Like, he was acting in major films in like the 50s.
yeah. I mean, again, he died in his 90s.
Right.
Hey, it's a shame he couldn't get Gandalf. I would have liked to see that, but obviously Ian McKellen's Gandalf is fantastic.
It is, absolutely. So then we had Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. I liked Moon Knight quite a bit, actually.
Like, I think a common complaint of mine, with the exception of like Spider-Man and some of the other ones, is like they with these TV shows, it's like they start somewhere interesting, and then we turn into a Marvel movie by the end, like a generic Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like Moon Knight's no different. It does the same thing where, you have the. Again, I think this is where Loki stands out being the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Is because Loki is the only one that I watched that didn't do that.
Yeah. But
Like,
I do like the implications Moon Knight ends with.
I mean, I liked Moon Knight overall anyway. Like, honestly, getting to see Oscar Isaac actually,
Yeah, he's so good.
after him getting dicked over in Star Wars, seeing him get so many better roles,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah, Poe Dameron
Like-
could have been such a good character, and The Last Jedi killed off his whole character.
man, that character assassination, right? Like, damn, they just fucking ruined his character. It's
Yeah.
like,
There was no saving
Let's take-
after Last Jedi.
like, I'll defend certain things in The Last Jedi, but man, dude, I will fucking go for the throw with Poe Dameron in The Last Jedi. He is just unreasonably fucking awful.
Yeah.
So, we complain about, some of the Marvel stuff, but at least Marvel's not Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true. It's
And
not
Star
fair.
Wars is starting to recover. Now. We're starting to get back,
They're
I
trying.
mean, I hear bad Mandalorian's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
I need to start watching season 3.
I also hear, despite everything, Cassian Andor is actually good.
Yeah, I heard Andor is actually fantastic, which I'm like,
And
damn it, that
I'm
was the one I was
upset
considering
with-
skipping because I hated Andor in Rogue One.
I mean, the only thing holding back Rogue One is just literally everyone in that movie.
Yeah,
Everything else is fantastic.
yeah, it could have been a lot.
Oh.
Could have been so much better. It's the most
Dude.
war we get in any Star Wars film.
That's true, and I'd be all for it if, honestly, I wasn't hoping for most of these people to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cassian Andor, fuck, I only know your name because you got a TV show. I don't give a fuck about you.
I'm trying to remember the main girl's name. I used to have her name remembered.
Yeah, I did too, and now I'm fucking drawing a blank.
Gonna look it up real
But
quick.
yeah, her. I mean, that says it all right there.
Yeah.
What are their names? I don't
Oh.
know, except Cassian Andor,
Yeah,
because he has a TV show named after him.
yeah, Jin Urso, that's what it was.
Jyn Erso, fuck, God. Yeah,
I mean,
I
Donnie
forgot to
Yen.
give her a character.
Yeah, Donnie Yen's character is my favorite.
I mean, that's everyone's favorite, because he's the guy who has the funny. Him and the
Yeah.
robot.
Yep. Chirrut Imwe.
And the guy that my brother just refers to as Star Wars Machete.
Yeah, he's great. That's it. They do nothing, but they're actually fun.
They're fun enough, but they do fuck all.
Yeah, that's what.
They do not matter. Who matters? Cassian Andor and Jyn Erso. Who do I not give a fuck about? Cassian Andor and Jyn Erso.
Yeah.
And they all. And then somehow we decided to go back and give Cassidy Andor a TV show before he dies blandly.
Yeah. He has a show before like the whole movie takes place. Oh, whatever.
All right, so
we had then we had Multiverse of Madness, which I will say the expectations definitely hurt the movie a lot, but it was okay.
Here's my opinion on Multiverse of Madness. Everyone's fucking stupid. Everyone else is wrong. I'm right.
Yeah.
Everyone set up crazy expectation that the movie never promised.
Yeah.
And it didn't deliver because it never said it would.
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness. There's a bit of madness in the multiverse that more or less came true. We could have got more multiverse.
Oh, so yeah, that's really my only issue is the fact that we get like 2, maybe 3 universes, and we only really go to one of them.
Yeah, we get a few, and we go to like
two of them.
2 new ones.
Yeah, we go to 2 of them, and we're only like in one of them.
We're in 2 of them because there's a whole fucking battle in the collapsing universe.
Yeah, but that one, like, we're not there very long.
So we're there for a whole pretty fun battle scene.
It was a cool fight scene. That's another thing. I wanted more wacky magic stuff, and we didn't get a ton of that either.
It felt like we got enough of that. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I wanted a better Doctor Strange movie than the first one, which is not a high bar. First one's pretty fucking bland after the first act. And I wanted a good old Sam Raimi movie, and I got some good old Sam Raimi bullshit.
Honestly, I think the first act of Doctor Strange is the bland part. I actually like the ending of Doctor Strange a lot.
The movie, I think it's better as it goes on.
Multiverse of Madness is better. Multiverse of Madness, I like a lot of it. I still think it's only okay, but I didn't.
I mean, that's fair.
There's nothing I hated about it.
I stand it as one of the best things out of Phase 4, which is not a high bar.
Yeah, I can also say that. That's not a...
Look, there's 3 things I like out of Phase 4. 4, maybe? I'll say 3 things out of Phase 4 that I like without reservation. Mm-hmm. There's 3 things.
Yeah.
We'll get to the rest, but we've already passed 2. It's Doctor Strange and Loki.
I think I know what the last one is. Then we had Miss Marvel, which I know you skipped. And it was fine. Again, it was okay.
I didn't even come out yet. Man.
It was okay. I'm just glad it wasn't terrible. That's all I wanted, and it wasn't. So that's fine enough for me.
I don't know that anything out of Phase 4 was necessarily terrible. Just most of it was mediocre.
Yeah. Then we had what I assume is what you were talking about is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Once again, fucking guys, Ragnarok was like lightning. Despite what science says, lightning doesn't strike twice. Sometimes,
Yeah.
It's still a fun movie. I don't give a shit. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's got tons of dumb humor I don't care for. I was fucking dying at the screaming goats. I shouldn't be, but I have the humor of a 4-year-old, and that spoke to me on a personal level.
Yeah, I mean, probably my biggest complaint about Thor: Love and Thunder is really the rapid fire comedy that mostly does not land. There's some stuff that is actually funny, but god damn does it not stop.
Look, I tell you, I don't think most of it doesn't land. It's one joke that doesn't land for me ever, and that's the fucking axe joke.
I remember the axe.
That joke isn't fun. The jealous axe.
Oh, yeah, no, that was whatever.
Yeah, it was awful. It's not even whatever. No, you're wrong. It's awful. You need to check yourself. That joke is not funny. That is a crime against humor. The fact that it happened more than once is even worse.
The Axe body spray joke. To clarify, there's a running gag that now that Jane Foster has Mjolnir and Mjolnir's not broken anymore, or well, it is, but it's here again. Thor apparently is into it, I guess, and then his
It's more like he's kind of like nostalgic, like he
yeah
misses the hammer seeing it again, and then like Stormbreaker gets jealous, and yeah, it's as funny as that sounds.
yeah
Um, that being said, I feel like a lot of the rest of the humor worked just fine. Jane being cringy and awkward makes
oh
sense
that's
because
great.
she's a
I loved that. That was great.
yeah,
um
she's a fucking scientist who got superhero powers out of nowhere and is trying to be cool around her superhero friends.
I love this.
That feels
Okay,
perfect to me.
that is another thing. I did love Russell Crowe's Zeus. I thought that was very funny actually. Him thinking
I
he's
could take
such hot shit.
I could take or leave Zeus. I'm not saying anything against your language, just my opinion. I could take it or leave it.
I mean, it was very pointless, but I thought it was funny. Actually, you know what? One of my biggest issues with it was probably Valkyrie, who serves no purpose in this movie.
Yeah, I really could have. Like, I wish they had beefed up Valkyrie's part, but I kind of get it because Valkyrie should be there. Why wouldn't she be there? But also, Jane is there and kind of filling Valkyrie's role from Ragnarok already.
Yeah. Like, I
It's a
loved her in Ragnarok, but she just does nothing in this movie. She's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not invited to Zeus's orgy then. His mandatory orgies.
Honestly, they're probably pretty greasy, so
That's probably true. He's a very hairy dude.
like I'll be honest, nothing about Russell Crowe's Zeus, nothing against Russell Crowe. Nothing about his Zeus makes me want to be at an orgy with them.
What? What?
Also, gotta say, I feel like he would make it weird.
Oh yeah.
Like he wouldn't just let people do their thing. I feel like he would somehow feel the need to be top dog at the orgy, and
Yeah.
like, dude, that's not my kind of orgy energy, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't help that everyone thinks he's top dog, so like he would feel justified in doing so.
Yeah, like I don't think I'd really want to, you know.
No, he has the KFC oil lube.
It's fucking James in the comments.
Yeah, it is.
Hi, James.
It's that.
I mean, honestly, you're not wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Good. It's awful. I hate it. Thanks,
Yeah,
James.
I hate that so much. I couldn't help it. It was, anyway, we should probably talk about the other stuff too. Thor: Love and Thunder, though, as a whole, I think is actually good. The Expectations was another case of killing this movie.
That one I feel is at least more justified than Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, because it was.
Multiverse of Madness had faith that it never promised. But Love and Thunder was coming off Ragnarok, was just one of the
And
best
had
Marvel movies.
And had this like the same cast, the same director, like staff and stuff. So the expectations.
Plus, we had Mighty Thor coming in, which had a lot of people excited.
And that aspect was actually done pretty well.
I think Mighty Thor was done well, and honestly,
they didn't really change anything about that.
Honestly, where my complaint would come in on that is that Thor Ragnarok, despite what everyone complains about, Thor Ragnarok has breathing room between its jokes and its more serious moments.
Yeah.
It might just be like a moment or two, but it'll have that. Love and Thunder doesn't have that. You kind of just get whiplash thrown into serious shit out of nowhere, and you're just not ready for it. And Jane's whole storyline is nothing but grim, serious shit.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
And
she's dying of cancer.
Yeah. So, yeah. Moving on.
Yeah. Also, though he didn't get a lot in this movie, any scene with Gore the God Butcher I thought I wasn't gonna care about, but actually Christian Bale kind of killed it as this
Christian Bale
disgustingly
was
creepy psycho.
everything with Gore the God Butcher was fantastic. And yeah, could I have had a little bit more of him? Sure, but I got enough of him, as we
Uh,
can state, because we both love him. Like
yeah,
we got
his
enough of him to be like,
his scene of just telling stories to the children is actually horrifying. Like
I
that.
mean, yeah, pretty much any scene with him is horrifying.
Yeah.
Which, again, good job, Christian Bale.
Yeah. Your time in films like American Psycho paid off. You're a very
I mean,
scary person.
dude, it's funny. I watched a video with Christian Bale
Yeah.
breaking down his iconic performances,
Yeah.
and man, it kills me how many times he plays an American with a straight accent. Did you hear him talk? He's got such a thick British accent.
Yeah, he's like super
it's so
British.
fucking thick.
Yeah.
Like,
No, he
Like-
seemed yeah, it's true. Gore the God Butcher, known for being a friendly, cool dude.
like, oh,
He tried to be like Tom Cruise for American Psycho. It shows.
like I don't think I've seen like 6 movies. Christian.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I think we're good now. My internet just freaked out all of a sudden. You were starting to sound robotic, and then I was like, okay, hold on, I need to fiddle something real quick, and then everything crashed. Even the stream was messed up. But we should be good now.
Fair enough. All right, so we were wrapping up Thor then.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
mu-
next on the list?
Must have been Zeus. He was really upset we didn't want to join his orgy. I didn't see I Am Groot, so I have no comment on the shorts. It was apparently a series of cute shorts, so didn't watch it. It was probably fine.
Didn't watch it. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, must be awful. Didn't see it. Man, I feel like that's anyone who reviews anime nowadays. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, the most, not even divisive. It was just ultimately reviled by pretty much everybody. I thought
Sorry.
She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Oh yeah, the fucking dude bros got at it. It was no
was-
worse than anything.
Yeah, it was.
It was fine.
It was fine. I didn't really have much issue with it. Honestly, probably my biggest complaint, other than certain aspects, it tried really hard to be funny. It was not very funny, but also it was too long. It was like 12 episodes. Only really needed to be like 6 at most.
God damn it, I didn't realize it was that long. No, my complaint, yeah, I would say it's trying too hard to be funny, and it's not.
No,
Also, like, early on, it's real preachy about, like, you know, like, women have to deal with this stuff all the time, and it's like, are you right? Yes. But I feel like this is very much tell, don't show.
Also,
But,
doing the Attorney at Law storyline, had they actually like done it, well, maybe, but like there's no real major story in this show. It's a lot of just plot points that get resolved in about 2 episodes or so, and then we just keep going. Yeah, there's 9 episodes in total. And then,
Again,
man, that final episode is not a good episode.
I did not watch that far. Again, I don't think it was any worse than anything else I watched. I mean, aside from, again, the three things I like, WandaVision's like on the fence there. Like, when WandaVision might be the fourth thing that I like, but like, because I have to question it, I feel like I can't say that I liked it without reservation, because there is a reservation. But I like it.
But you definitely like Doctor Strange, Loki, and Thor.
So I do admit Thor is a problematic movie.
But yeah, She-Hulk, biggest complaint. Well, one, the final episode is just awful. I can't even defend that. But also, it tries really hard to be funny, and it is not funny. Like, I don't think I ever found the show funny. However, the Daredevil episode is good. So, there it is. But, I mean,
okay, fair enough.
Bringing back Daredevil, and he was apparently good enough to get his own movie spinoff, so for the MCU. So I'm here for it. And they got.
And once again, She-Hulk gets her costume at the end of the show.
Yep. At least it looks cool. Which I'm. Cool.
Unfortunately, the CG at this point is really suffering. Oh, yeah. Don't blame the artists. I definitely just blame Marvel and Disney for, everything.
Everything, yeah.
Shows probably would have been much better shows if they had been given proper time to cook.
And probably better budget. And
some of these had insane budgets. It's not a budget problem. They didn't have time.
Yeah, that checks out.
Like, I think She-Hulk had like a multi-million-dollar per episode budget.
Jesus.
Let me take a look here.
I think isn't that new Lord of the Rings show that like has like the highest budget per episode?
Yeah, She-Hulk had a budget of $25 million per episode.
God damn.
Totaling at $225 million, which would put it up there with like the Avengers films for budgets.
Yeah. And yeah, like, to have to be time.
Yeah, and because it seems like they have a fairly finite group of people doing the effects for all of these. And as people point out, you can tell in every single one of them after the first couple. Like, things just start getting janky. Like, the CG in most of these don't hold up as much as some of the Phase 3 stuff. Like, Black Panther's got CG issues. Granted, the original one also did. So, like, poor one to bring up first. Miss Marvel, I've seen, just has jankiness. She-Hulk's design is rough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also very confused why Hulk looks like Mark Ruffalo, but She-Hulk does not look like her actress, really. Like, she physically changes. Like, her hair and everything changes.
That's because it is a different actress. The actress who plays Jen Walters and who plays She-Hulk is different.
I don't like that. That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know why they decided that, but that is why she looks very different.
Like, Hulk's hair might shrink or grow a little bit, but like, She-Hulk has an entirely different type of hair. Like, she's got like thick, long, wavy hair, as opposed to like shorter, curlier hair of Jen Walters.
It could have been a reference to the old show with like Lou Ferrigno, but like, it still was a dumb idea. The reason they did it in the old shows is just because that was the only way to do it back then.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, yeah, there's no way to do it, but like, I don't think I would find it nearly as weird if not for the fact that, again, Mark Ruffalo plays Banner and Hulk.
Yeah, and it's very visibly Mark Ruffalo both times.
like okay, older Hulk design looks less like Mark Ruffalo, but like especially like Professor Hulk, yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Is
very
big
much,
big green Mark Ruffalo.
yeah. Um,
Hulk is strongest there is. Hulk hit smash. Um, well, after She-Hulk, they did Werewolf by Night, which was a Halloween special. I wanted to watch it. I have not watched it. Um,
I also have not watched it.
Introduces two, like, I didn't even know these comic book characters until more recently, but they're older, like, wider Marvel characters. Elsa Bloodstone, who's a lot like Blade in the fact that she hunts, like, night creatures, and the titular Werewolf by Night, who's another character. But apparently it's part of the MCU, so I'll probably check it out at some point. But I haven't. Then we had Wakanda Forever, which was pretty good. Had issues for sure, but I would say I didn't have it. Like, there's nothing like terrible about the movie. It once again was, I'd say it falls more on the good than just okay, since there was bits in it I really liked.
Um, I
But
feel
yeah,
like there were bits in it I really liked, but I would say on a whole, it's again kind of a whatever movie, just a
yeah,
whatever movie with good bits in it.
yeah.
Uh,
Ironheart was really well introduced. I'm excited to see her in later pictures and stuff. Um,
Worry I like, man, I do not like her Iron Man suit though. That shit is ugly as hell.
uh,
Personal opinion, I don't like
her red and black Ironheart suit.
it. Just looks cartoony by comparison.
It's funny because her comic book suit's like so much slimmer, and I do prefer a comic book outfit. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah, that's I think
It's
it's
very
also
clear
very
she will not have the same suit in her own show when she gets it.
um
Uh,
my
honestly,
personal opinion there, Brie actually is pretty solid in the movie. Honestly, she's some of my favorite part in that movie.
it is ugly and doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense. She makes an Iron Man suit, so when she has a
The
budget,
only
she makes another Iron
yeah,
Man suit. Makes sense. I just think it looks stupid.
I mean Tony Stark had like fucking 100 Iron Man suits. I don't think we can complain that Rory Williams has two in this movie.
Yeah, she has her one she makes with no money and no resources, and then she has the one where she has the resources of Wakanda.
Yeah, I just don't like the design of it, just visually how it looks. Um, what was
The
it?
corn, there's corn. I don't think there is in the suit. Was there? Ironheart.
What?
It says there was cornrow grooves in her suit. I don't think there was. Oh yeah,
That's
I guess kinda. I just thought they were kind of like just grooves in her helmet.
uh,
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I just think the suit's bulky and weird looking. I like the comic book design better, which is far more slim. But the comic book design's based on the all new, all different Iron Man suit, which is my favorite Iron Man suit. So that's probably why I like it so much.
my dude, my guy, I never once looked at that and was like, man, that robot's got cornrows.
Yeah, no, I just I guess kinda, but
I mean, yeah, when you say it like that, like you kind of see it. Fucking
is there, yeah, her actress does. So, I mean, maybe that is the intention, I guess, but I don't care. That's whatever. The
I,
director said
I
and
mean,
pointed
that
out in
is
an
the
interview. I mean, I could totally see a director being like really proud of that and then like pointing it out. But
I mean, if that's true, I mean, like if it's true, it's stupid. But again, like, dude, you had to point it out for us to notice.
yeah, like I don't. It's whatever. That does not bug me. It's really just the suit itself that I think is just really goofy looking. Um,
Yeah, I don't care for it.
I just thought it was silly. It is silly. That being intentional as a whole is already silly, but the suit itself is just way goofy looking. So I'm
I get, it looks more of a cartoon than the actual comic book suit.
Yeah, it really does. But besides that, like, Submariner was done so much justice. Like, that was just the Submariner. Like, there was basically no difference from Namor to from comic to film. He even had the Hermes wings on his feet.
Man, honestly, I 100% agree with you, except where I don't. Because, oh boy, the end of the movie is very silly with it. Like,
What?
it just really feels like the end of the movie really wanted to, like no, Namor's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
he's always the anti-hero character. He's never really been a good guy.
But then, like, with the end credit scene or post credit scenes, like, they really got to, like, hammer home. They're like, no, Namor's bad. It's like, but this is okay. All right, well,
No, I was just saying that I think his adaptation was good because that's Namor. Like, they didn't really change Namor. He is Namor.
No, that's fair.
And yeah, even that post credit scene, absolutely, that's still Namor. Is it silly? Oh, absolutely, dude. He has Hermes wings on his fucking ankles. I mean, what do you?
Yeah, but there's a difference between silly and comic book aesthetic, and also and just this feels weird with how the character has been the whole movie.
Oh yeah, no, he's a. The writing in the movie is is kind of all over the place. He's just a misunderstood Aquaman. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of funny. So, Namor predates Aquaman by like 2 years.
Yeah, Aquaman is the knockoff.
Yeah, and then Aquaman, funny enough, in like the 90s, would get his hand cut off and get like a hook hand, and then he would act more like Namor, where he was like, the land dwellers were actually like are bad, and I need to protect only Atlantis, and everything else is awful.
Yeah, he's a little more of a shithead in the 90s.
Yeah. And also, funny, like, completely unrelated other than the fact that it's Namor. Namor is the first comic book character to be able to fly. Because he came out only like a couple years after Superman, and Superman couldn't fly until the radio show gave him that power. So, actually, Namor is the first superhero to be able to fly because of his little Hermes wings on his ankles.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
what kind of
bro? Another thing, just a minor DC complaint. Come on, Dwayne Johnson, good old Dwayne the Rock Johnson, when he played Black Adam, did not have his pointy elf ears, but Namor did. So like, gotta accept how silly comic books are sometimes. He's got little elf ears. Give him his little elf ears. Yeah,
I mean,
Superman could only jump over tall buildings. Exactly.
Again, I got nothing against Namor design-wise. I just feel like he was written really weird, especially towards the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Also, the death of Shuri's mom is kind of a fucking waste. And
yeah,
again,
I like the scene a lot, but yeah, what it leads to doesn't really. Is pretty.
Well,
whatever.
yeah, the scene itself is fantastic. Honestly, the scene is great. Honestly, it's how it gets paid off, in the fact that it really doesn't feel like it does. Yeah, Shuri's all out for blood and everything, and then she chooses to spare Namor. But then we just come back to, man, I missed T'Challa, and it's like, dude, your mom just died.
Yeah.
Do you not miss her? She got murdered. T'Challa died of fucking disease.
So again, another case of the movie having good bits, but overall being only fine. Her being visited by Killmonger instead was amazing.
Absolutely fantastic. I love that shit. This is the kind of stuff I when I'm complaining about how shitty women get written in a lot of these comic book movies, where they just make them an overpowered saint or just the coolest person. It's no, Shuri actually has problems she's dealing with, and she's not always handling them well, and that's the shit I love. She's a flawed character, and that's every good character should be a flawed character.
Yeah. And then that, also, goddamn, you know who's the best character in that movie? It's M'Baku.
M'Baku's fucking Perfect.
He's really good in Black Panther. Like, he could have been such a nothing character because he's the man ape. He's one of Black Panther's main villains, and there's not much to him. But in these movies, they've nailed him. They've made him so much better than he is in the comics, and this movie is like very indicative of that. Him being this
Do not make him a villain.
yeah,
Do not make him a villain, man. I need him to not be a villain.
you know, him being like someone who hated the old ways, respects the hell out of T'Challa. Now he's gone. He feels he has to keep on his legacy and protect all of Wakanda. Because he has so much respect for T'Challa. In fact, he only goes along with Shuri because he promised T'Challa he'd protect her. And that's the only reason. And even though he completely disagrees with what she's doing. And, like, I love that stuff.
But also, when she is in charge, he respects that she's in charge, even if he doesn't agree with her.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a level of real maturity.
Yeah, it shows how much he's, like, changed as well. Since he was so much against the Order and, like, all of Wakanda beforehand.
Like, absolutely love M'Baku in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like this movie has, like, 10 out of 10 moments, and sometimes, like, 10 out of 10 character writing. But honestly, I struggle to give this movie, like, a 7.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd still say it is good, but, like, it could have been
great. A solid movie.
Yeah, it is solid.
It's again the pieces don't make a very good whole, even if the pieces are mostly good.
Yeah, and then this technically ends Phase 4, though there was the Guardians Holiday Special, which I did actually see. It's just like an hour-long special. It does give one thing that I think will be very important to Guardians 3, which I thought was interesting, but other than that, it's actually just essentially a funny bit. And it is actually pretty hilarious, so I would say that.
Yeah, I heard it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's very funny. I'm very excited for Guardians 3.
I am too, honestly. Like I said earlier, Cosmonaut Variety Hour, he was kind of saying, like, honestly, the future of Marvel might kind of hinge on Guardians 3. Because, yeah, like, we're starting to see Marvel fall off hard.
Yeah.
People don't really talk about it except kind of to shit on it. The movies and TV shows are making less money.
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man flopped pretty hard, despite you saying it's probably probably the best Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
Which, that is not a high bar.
No, the other ones are fairly boring. They're just watchable.
Yeah, they're whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Phase 4, again, kind of like Marvel's filler arc.
Yeah,
like there are
100%
bits in it. Like there are good bits in it, but like we don't have a big team up. Nothing really pivotal happens. Like, okay, the most pivotal thing that happens is Loki breaking the multiverse.
Yeah.
And that's, again, the third TV show that came out. I think that still beat Black Widow to movie.
Yeah, that was the third project to drop. Was Loki? Was the third show and the third project
out of 18?
Yeah,
and that's really the only one with major consequences for the rest of the MCU.
Yeah, because all of the other ones have nothing to do with it. Like, never even bring up what's going on with that.
Like, even movies that I feel like should, like Doctor Strange or you know, Black Panther, maybe. Like,
yeah, Black Panther
really
more just focuses like we said, like everything feels like it focuses in on itself. Everything's like a standalone thing.
And we needed, there's like a middle ground. We needed some of that, yeah. Because like Phase 2 of Marvel, for example, every fucking thing is trying to tie into something else.
Yeah.
And I do feel like
the only exception was Guardians 1 in Phase 2.
I do think they heard that and decided to act appropriately, but I feel like now we've gone too far the other way. Now there's 1,000 projects and none of them feel relevant to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say, yeah, there's a handful that are actually important to watch. Some of them, you could probably just get the cliff notes of some of them.
Obviously, yeah. I feel like all of them will play out in some way eventually, but like even then, just cliff notes
Dude,
and you'll be totally fine.
You don't even need to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier to get that Falcon is now Captain America,
Yeah.
because he still gets the shield at the end of Endgame.
Yep.
So, like, you know,
but you got to know that,
probably...
that Sharon is a bad guy now, because
what?
You got to know that. You got to know she's a bad guy now for reasons.
Why the fuck did they think that was a good idea? What the fuck does that... Man,
it
that
literally
is
makes no sense.
Less stupid than do better.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna let that go. I'm never in a million years gonna let that go. What do we do about this insanely difficult socioeconomic problem? Do better.
Yeah, we all have to do better. Yeah, no, like I said, all the stuff with Cap's shield and Cap's legacy was good. The rest is just awful.
I love making fun of that scene. It has nothing to do with Anthony Mackie or anything.
No, he's great.
It's just, goddamn, that writing is fucking terrible.
Yeah, and
yeah, he's great the whole show.
Yeah, yeah, he's
got the best line in the. He's got he's out of line, but he's right. Yeah. The best line in the show. But fucking yeah, no, just the do better part, because it's like clear that the writers came up with this problem and they themselves did not have a good way to solve it.
I mean, there really isn't a good way to solve it. So I mean,
I think the whole do better is stupid.
Well, they were trying to give him the Cap inspirational speech moment, and that's all they came up with.
That makes sense, but like, you know, Cap was like punching out Nazis and shit and going like, "Hey, don't discriminate." Anthony Mackie, fucking Falcon just got the, "Hey, what do we do about like all these people who moved countries and, you know, now own homes that other people own, and all these people reappearing, and now there's, you know,
and our resources are even more scarce than they ever were before."
And then fucking goddamn Cap's over there like, do better.
Help your fellow man, and we'll all do it, and it'll be good.
Buy American stock, U.S. Army stock.
God, if they like, pulled some shit like that.
Of like fucking goddamn Steve just wrote him a cheat sheet of shit. It's like written on his phone.
Invest in Bitcoin. It becomes a shitcoin shill.
Oh, maybe we should have given the shield to U.S. Agent. I don't. Cap's turned into a tech bro. Dude, he started upvoting and retweeting Elon Musk posts.
He started sharing posts from Andrew Tate.
Like,
God, God. I don't think any of that. It's
no, but like,
no, all this honestly, most of these seem to set up like the possibility of a new Avengers or like a Young Avengers show or film or something. All of these apparently set up Thunderbolts, because we are getting Thunderbolts, and like most of these characters are all going to be in it.
What are Thunderbolts?
The Thunderbolts are literally Marvel's Suicide Squad. Because they're a bunch of like anti-hero or just like straight up villains who work for the government to do hero stuff. Though they don't have the bomb thing. They tend to just be like either A, mind controlled, or B, convinced by being like given some kind of freedom or whatever. Also, they're usually headed up by Thunderbolt Ross, which unfortunately that actor did pass away, and so we'll have to see what that will entail.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, all he got to really do was tell us about the Sokovian Accords. before he could really become Red Hulk like people expected. Yeah, so Thunderbolts
Fair.
was confirmed, but the only thing we got was was at the D23 we got a movie like a promotional poster of the cast, and it has like the one girl who's been recruiting them in all these projects. And then we have Yelena, which is Black Widow's sister. We have Red Guardian, who was their dad from Russia. Because he was their fake dad.
Yeah.
We have Ghost, if you remember her from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh man, yeah, Ghost does exist.
Yeah, yeah,
Man,
she sure did,
man,
didn't
like,
she?
sure, if Ant-Man had cost more than the $6.25 I spent to get into that theater, it would have been too much for that movie.
U.S.
It's so
agent.
different with prices.
Yeah, U.S. agent, Taskmaster, and Bucky. Because I think Bucky's gonna
Man,
be playing.
Bucky didn't do anything wrong. I mean, not intentionally.
I think Bucky's gonna fill the Rick Flag role of being like the guy who has to keep these guys in line.
Oh, great. Honestly, like, the Suicide Squad is a fantastic movie, but like the original Suicide Squad will forever put me off from Suicide Squad type shows.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's.
I mean, honestly, the animated Suicide Squad, fucking Batman Assault on Arkham, is also not.
Yeah, no, that also sucks.
Man, I also love DC. We're gonna name it a Batman movie, despite the fact that Batman is in maybe a third of this movie, and it's a Suicide Squad movie. But Suicide Squad does not yet sell, so Batman it is.
Hey, same with Justice League Dark. Batman's right on the cover and is the main character of that animated movie, but he's just there so they can explain the plot to him.
Yeah. Goddamn, like, I love Batman, but man, do they make me not want to like Batman anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so Thunderbolts comes out next July. 2024.
Man, really, I really do hope they slow down and really fucking take the time to work on these upcoming projects, because, again, man,
the fact that they said that they realized that Phase 4 was an issue and they plan to reevaluate what they do going forward makes me think they probably will. I mean, Phase 5 already, from what they've announced, which is a lot, they don't have very many shows this time around. Or for how many they do, which they have 7, they're way more spread out rather than like...
I can watch a show every few months, but I like do fucking when they start overlapping, or when it's like I think I need a bit of a breather.
Yeah, because we're getting... before we wrap up, I'll just kind of go quick through what's Phase 5 gonna look like, because we only have we have a lot announced. I think this is literally all of Phase 5, actually, now that I think about it, because I think they confirmed stuff all the way to Phase 7, but 6 and 7 they only announced like one movie each, whereas like they said what they're doing for Phase 5, because they confirmed Fantastic Four and 2 more Avengers movies. That's gonna be like that's all they've announced for Phase 6 and 7. They've announced like nothing else. Because we have Quantumania, which already came out, Guardians Volume 3, which drops in May, The Marvels, which drops in November, which that coincides with like what the post-credits scene of Miss Marvel. Then we have Captain America New World Order, which goes right off of Falcon Winter Soldier. Thunderbolts in July, and then Blade in September.
Man, I hope something's getting worked out there, because I know Mahershala Ali is pissed about Blade.
Yeah, I heard some. I actually don't know what what's been.
If I remember right, what has been released is that he's pissed off, and in part it's due to the fact that he got handed like a tiny script for this movie.
Oh, that is weird. And shows, we have Secret Invasion, which comes out this year, which is going to be all about Shield, um, and they're going to be dealing with Skrull stuff. Loki season 2, which is supposed to come out in the middle of this year because none of the shows have dates yet. What If season 2, which is unknown when that releases. Ironheart, which also doesn't have a release date yet. Echo, which doesn't have a release date. That was the spin-off of Hawkeye. Agatha Coven of Chaos, which is supposed to be at the end of this year into next year. And Daredevil Born Again, which is the start of next year.
Well, fair enough.
Yep. So, that's a lot less projects than Phase 4. And they're more spread out, so I'm more confident that we'll probably... Also, this seems to be more of, like, stuff that's going to lead into more things. Like, Quantumania, Kang is all over that movie. Like, he's basically another main character alongside the main cast. Not even just, like, the main villain. And then Guardians Volume 3, we know that's the end of the Guardians in the MCU, which, with it being James Gunn's last MCU project, I mean, it makes sense he should wrap up Guardians. And then the Marvels. So yeah, we're basically continuing off of the filler arc of Phase 4, and then we don't know what's going on with Blade, but that doesn't come out till, like, the tail end of next year. So yeah. So hopefully Phase 4 will tell them, like, to kind of shape up a bit. We do know there's also plans for more stuff. Like, they already confirmed they are making a 4th Spider-Man movie in some capacity. Like, they haven't released any details, but it is going to exist.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see, since they've set Spider-Man up to have a new character arc, so I'm interested to see where he'll go.
I also do think starting, like, once we get into more later phase stuff, I think the goal is to make the MCU actually an MCU and not, a series of Avengers movies or, like, an Avengers franchise, because, it's MCU, it's a cinematic universe, so I think the focus on more projects that are just not connected or related, and they'll be, like, in their own self-contained projects,
I mean,
will be the goal, to make it kind of more of a comic book universe than just what they've been doing. Like, there'll still be crossovers and, like, stuff like that, but I think
I think the big thing though is they need the Avengers.
no, the Avengers will still be there and they'll still be doing movies and stuff. But
like that, not what I mean is, like, they need something that ties together, kind of create that feeling of cohesion.
And I think that's how they're going to do Avengers movies, because I think the Avengers movies are going to be, like, big crossover events. Because, like, Endgame and Infinity War was, but Avengers and Age of Ultron were Avengers movies. So I think that's kind of the goal, is to kind of... Some Avengers movies will be just Avengers, but then I think they're also going to be big crossover events to, like, bring the wider stuff together. Basically, like comic books. So I'm hopeful. I still plan to watch them regardless, but yes, like, it's undeniable that they've been having, they're in a lull period, and hopefully they can shape up.
Yeah, hopefully they manage to turn things around.
Yeah. So then, yeah, with that, guys, I guess we'll talk to you next one. We love talking about stupid nerd stuff in general, so if there's any other topics you guys want to hear about, let us know. Comment, send us stuff. Check out HelloFresh. They're still sponsoring us, so we would appreciate it. So yeah, so with that, guys, don't forget to stay lucky. We'll see you at the next one. Bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.